Hey guys, so glad to be back with you. I know we're not on the stream today. Wish we could be out there fishing. In fact, I actually planned on potentially going fishing today, but it is raining like crazy. I think it's rained a couple inches so far today. And honestly, it's middle of February. Been trying to find some time on the water, but between snow and single digit temperatures and just life, any of the days I've had off work really haven't been able to make it happen. So I want to do something a little bit different, still get a video to you guys. And been kind of thinking about doing this video in particular, so great time to do it. We're going to talk about flies today. So we're not just going to about flies in general. We're talking about flies for specifically one of my favorite places, and that's the Great Smoky Mountains. So if you watch the channel for any length of time, you know I like any chance I can get. I love going up and exploring the Smoky Mountains. I like getting in the backcountry, getting off the beaten path. I love some of the higher elevation streams as well as some of the lower ones. But thought we'd cover some flies that I love and that over the years have found success with. And yeah, just spend some time talking about that and sharing some info with you guys. So before I start, these are just some of my favorite flies. It's not meant to be an exhaustive list, and in fact, I hope, if nothing more, I'd hope it stimulates people to chime in and give their comments. I would love to see people give their comments of some of their confidence patterns, their favorite flies in the comments below. Because again, it's not meant to be an exhaustive list. These are just things that I love, confidence patterns for me, and things that I've come to love over the years. But I would love if people would comment, let me know, because I'm definitely going to leave some things off that are really good flies. Would love to hear people's comments about their favorites. So, without further ado, we're going to start off with dry flies. And it seems only natural to start off with maybe one of those most popular flies ever, the Parachute Adams. And I keep a couple different versions of these. The Parachute Adams is just a great fly. People fish it for reasons because it works. I carry a kind of a different version. I love the versions with, instead of the white post on top, I love the ones with like the fluorescent fibers on top. You can do this any number of different ways. You can have orange and yellow, pink and yellow. The other day I was out, I tied some with just yellow because that's what I had. And but great fly. The reason I like specifically this version of the Adams is the white post is generally really helpful in letting you see the fly. But as you get smaller in size, and sometimes just in general, if it gets near just the film or the foam, on the edge of some falls or a run, it can be kind of hard to see. Or if the glare is just right, it can be hard to see. Whereas the fluorescent fibers, really helped me to pick it out, especially as I size down and use smaller flies, which I do sometimes. The other thing is great fly, floats really well, so it's a nice one you can hang a dropper off of, and you can be kind of versatile with the size of your dropper you hang behind it, just because it does float so well. So favorite fly of mine. If you've watched many of the videos, you see me use it a lot. Super just awesome fly. It seemed fitting just to start with that. Next up, we got the Wulff family, specifically the traditional Royal Wulff. I love, floats really well. It has the red floss, middle of the body. Super good fly, just a general. Kind of a tractor pattern, super buggy, but floats really well. Again, another good one. You can have options as far as hanging a dry fly, hanging a dropper below it. You can get by with some bigger or heavier droppers if you need to. But super good pattern. Love it for the Smokies. Love it in general for the mountains and of Western North Carolina and Tennessee. I'm gonna cheat a little bit because these are technically other flies, but the Wulff family of flies has some other ones that I definitely keep on hand, and I will use and cycle through on some days in the Smokies. So you got specifically worth mentioning the Carolina Wulff, and it is basically a traditional Royal Wulff with just a yellow floss band in the middle, and floats the exact same. Everything is great about this fly. It just has the yellow. And you talk about yellow in the Smokies a lot as being a popular, successful color for a lot of your flies. So having that yellow-bodied Wulff is super helpful. Another one is the Ausable Wulff, and I will use it from time to time. There's times, honestly, that I've not been able to get a whole lot else to work and mopped up with this guy. It's just like an off-white body, real kind of bushy body. Another just great option. It's a Wulff style fly, but with a just a different body. But another good option. Floats well, easy to hang a good dropper behind. Next, we just got the Stimulator. So, and I traditionally probably carry mainly two colors of these, yellow and orange. Probably not a big surprise there. But yellow is great to fish spring into like midsummer, and super, super, you got your yellow, classic for the Smokies, but great fly, floats really well, easy to hang a good, good size dropper. You at least have options as far as what size dropper you hang behind it. Super, just awesome fly. As you get into summer or late summer, early fall, orange. A lot of times I'll try that more, but just a classic stimulator. Again, I'll keep it's at least orange and yellow typically, but super successful fly at times. Hard not to have one in your box. The next is just a Chubby Chernobyl, but specifically a micro Chubby Chernobyl. So Chubby Chernobyls are, the Chubbies are popular because they float real well. They got the foam body. You can get away with a bigger dropper sometimes on those. But I like specifically the micro version. So just a much smaller version, so I can carry it with me and use it on higher elevation streams. Just it gives really they work well from all the way to the bigger streams and lower elevations all the way up to even some of the headwater streams if you get them small enough. Again, you can float bigger droppers behind it. They're generally pretty easy to see. They have a bigger poof of kind of white fibers on the back, so it makes it easier to see. A good bit bigger than like the Parachute Adams or anything like that. So don't tend to have a lot of hard time seeing this. It's also a bigger fly, but super good, just buggy pattern. It can imitate a lot of things, from like terrestrials, like small grasshoppers, to some other dry fly type bugs. Next, probably can't really have a good list without having an Elk Hair Caddis on it. I will carry a few different colors of these, from just the traditional kind of tan brown kind of color to I will keep several for the Smokies specifically with the yellow body, and love having at least those couple of versions on me. But another just good fly, and they float well, so you can get by hanging a dropper behind them. And I was going to give you 5 dry flies and 5 nymphs, but I'm going to cheat. I'm going to give you another one because I know somebody's going to have a fit if I don't include this in the dry fly section. But you got the Thunderhead. So you hear a lot of people talk about the Thunderhead for the Smokies, and it is a super cool fly. It almost reminds you of like a cross between like a gray Adams and a kind of a Royal Wulff because of the wings, but super kind of bushy, buggy fly, and another one that floats well. You can hang a good dropper behind it, but I know if I don't include that one, somebody's gonna have a fit, just because it is talked about so much. In all honesty, I don't fish with it like too terribly much. I probably use the Adams more than some of these other ones I've gone through, but it's a great fly. I mean, it works. So we're gonna get into some of the nymphs, and I don't think you could have a favorite list without putting a Pheasant Tail on it. Now, the version that I carry typically is a little bit different than just. I mean, there's a lot of versions of Pheasant Tails out there, but I carry one kind of specific to my needs. And you'll notice as I go through the nymphs, one of the things that I would say most of them are very versatile. So I fish a lot of dry droppers in the Smokies, especially on the smaller streams, but I will do a lot of tightline nymphing as well. So there's days where I have like a 10-foot Euro rod, and I will specifically tightline nymph and use a couple of nymphs. And a lot of the flies I'm about to show you kind of do well for both of those scenarios. So that way I'm not having to carry multiple flies for different scenarios. But this version, the reason it does so well as a dropper and all the way over to a tightline setup, it's a little tungsten head version. I love it. It's a little soft hackle version. It's also a jig hook, so it's going to float a little different. It's going to float upside down typically and just help you not get hung as much. So especially when you're tightline nymphing and getting down real deep in those like winter months and stuff like that, less likely to get hung. So this kind of is great because I'll keep it in a small size to do as a dropper, but then I'll also use it when I'm tightline nymphing as well. So it's very versatile and hard to not have that one on the list. Next, we got just a couple of versions of a soft hackle, and I got a couple of versions because I do carry a couple of versions of it. I love yellow. I love yellow soft hackles in the Smokies, and traditionally they're tied. Most of them don't have a bead on them. They're actually kind of hard to find with a bead on it, so I tie some with a bead on it. The ones without the bead are great because they float kind of in the film below the surface, and a lot of times that's all you need. But sometimes I need to get them deeper, especially in like the colder months, or there's times where I need to get that fly deeper, and I will use a very small version with a bead on it, a bead head version as a dropper, and I tie the same thing in a green also, or like an olive. So I carry a couple different versions of the soft hackles just because they are such a versatile fly. Next is not going to look all that much different, but it's different in my opinion, and it fishes different. A lot of people would say this is a much different fly. Just a France fly. So France fly, there's lots of different versions of these, but this one specifically is a CDC France fly with the little CDC really thin fibers that just move a little bit in the water, and it's tied slightly differently. Most time the France flies are tied with a really small micro tubing, so they just like sink differently than say a soft tackle, but they're not going to look that much different. But love this fly. It's an olive with a little bronze flash at the bottom of it. It's another jig hook, so it's going to float upside down. I keep these like pretty small, probably like a size 16 or maybe even smaller. But size 16 is like a pretty good size on those. Really good fly. Great to use as a dropper, but really good for like your Euro nymphing or your tightline nymphing type stuff. Next is hard to have a list without having a zebra midge on it. Midges are just a super important part of their diet, and they'll eat on midges kind of generally throughout the year, but they become more and more important in the colder months. And so I use these a lot as a dropper, and I'll keep them pretty small. I'll fish these down to like pretty small sizes, but I'll keep usually a black, sometimes olive, but black is just serves you well most of the time. But great fly, sinks really well just because of the shape of its body and the way they're tied, especially if you get one that has like a tungsten head. Usually I tie them with a tungsten head. Love that fly. And last, we got another popular fly, but this is kind of a different version of it, just patch rubber legs. This is different though, because the classic, the most common version you're going to find and buy is going to be pretty big. This one is though quite small, and so when I found these, I found that I love them because it lets me just fish them in more different scenarios. So I can use it as a dropper. It's actually small enough I can fish it as a dropper under Wulff or a Chernobyl, something like that. But it still accomplishes that super buggy look of the classic patch rubber legs. So super good fly, but I love it. In some of the smaller streams, I love it for I love the small version. Honestly, even all the way down to some of the bigger streams. Just a good all around fly, and nice version to have compared to the big ones. So I think that covers it. Hope that helps. Fun to talk about flies. I could sit there and talk about them all day, and I left off some that other just flies I use a lot. I use a lot more, especially nymphs than that. But there's lots of other flies out there. So I would love if you guys, let me know. Leave your comments below. Let me know some of your favorites. Love to help some other people out. Help me out too. I'm still learning. But those are some of my favorites, and that's what the video is about. Just sharing some of my favorites, things that I've learned to have some confidence in over the years, and help some other people out. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and hope you guys were okay doing something a little bit different today, talking about some flies, and I can't wait to be back out on the water soon. Hopefully, weather permitting, I'd like to get out there pretty soon, bring you guys some more videos. So can't wait to be back with you. I'll give you a quick little channel update. Got a couple things to kind of show off here. We added some stuff to the store. This is my favorite new hoodie. So got Cold Outdoors with the teal logo. I'm a sucker for like the teal with the navy. Super soft, and just got this guy added to the store, so I wanted to give you kind of an update on that. Probably my favorite new hoodie. Got new long sleeve tee. Got kind of a retro camo pattern with the little trout logo and the Cold Outdoors under it, and just a cool little retro trout camo logo on the front. Got that guy added, and then for the kiddos, and I made this for my kids, but for the kiddos out there, we got the Fishing Season hoodie. So teal on black, just love that. Boys love it. On the back, you got the Cold Outdoors logo, but just want to share. Got some new things added to the store. Anything, if you feel led to make a purchase, all of it goes to helping us do more films for you guys, getting out and exploring some new country, and bringing you guys some more fun content. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Can't wait to see you guys out on the stream soon with some more adventures. Can't wait to see you on the next one.